If you're over 60, your favorite milk might not be helping you anymore. In fact, it might be slowly hurting your bones, your joints, and even your memory. Today, we'll look at the milks seniors should avoid, or at least limit, and the simple, safer options you can drink every day instead. The truth is, your body changes after 60. What used to be healthy may no longer be the same. Let's fix that, one glass at a time. First, condensed milk. The sweetest trap for seniors. Have you ever poured a spoonful of condensed milk into your morning coffee, stirred it slowly, and thought, this makes life a little sweeter? You're not alone. For many seniors, condensed milk isn't just a pantry item, it's nostalgia in a can. It's the taste of childhood, of family breakfasts, of comfort. But here's the truth no one really told us: that sweetness comes with a cost far heavier than a spoonful of sugar. Condensed milk is one of the most deceptive foods for people over 60. It looks innocent, creamy, thick, rich, but in reality, it's a concentrated form of sugar and fat, stripped of most of the natural nutrients found in real milk. Just 2 tablespoons can pack over 20 grams of sugar, the same as half a can of soda. And because of its syrupy texture, it's easy to use much more than you realize. When you were younger, your body could handle that sugar rush, your cells burned energy faster, your insulin response was stronger. But after 60, things change quietly. The pancreas slows down, insulin sensitivity drops, and the same sugar that once gave you energy now lingers in your blood, turning into fat, inflammation, and fatigue. A study published in the Journal of Gerontological Nutrition found that older adults with high added sugar intake had a 52% higher risk of metabolic syndrome, that dangerous trio of belly fat, high blood pressure, and insulin resistance. And guess what the biggest hidden sugar sources were? Sweetened beverages, flavored dairy, and condensed milk. It's not just about diabetes, though. Sugar, when consumed regularly in high amounts, literally ages your body from the inside out. It attaches to proteins and fats in your bloodstream in a process called glycation, forming sticky molecules known as AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These AGEs damage blood vessels, make your skin less elastic, and weaken collagen in your bones and joints. So that spoonful of sweetness you add each morning? It's quietly stiffening your arteries, clouding your mind, and making your bones a little more fragile every day. Now, let's get real. Nobody expects you to quit everything sweet overnight. But it's about swapping pleasure, not erasing it. You don't need to give up the warmth of your morning ritual, you just need to make it smarter. Try this. Instead of condensed milk, pour a splash of unsweetened almond milk or oat milk fortified with calcium and vitamin D. You'll still get that creamy texture, but without the sugar spike. If you like your coffee richer, add a drop of vanilla extract or a sprinkle of cinnamon. Both enhance flavor without affecting blood sugar. And if you're craving something sweet in the afternoon, reach for a few dates or figs instead. They come with fiber, magnesium, and natural antioxidants, things your body actually uses to heal, not harm. What many seniors don't realize is that every small daily habit compounds, quietly, invisibly. That 1 spoon of condensed milk might not matter today, but add it up over months and years, and you've built a biochemical storm in your own bloodstream. Sugar that isn't burned turns into fat. Fat builds around organs. Organs work harder, energy drops. Memory fog creeps in. And soon, you find yourself blaming age, when in truth, it's accumulation. There's another side to this too: emotional eating. Many people over 60 reach for sweet things not because they're hungry, but because they're seeking comfort. That sweetness reminds you of simpler days, of warmth and familiarity. And that's okay, we all crave that. But the goal now is to find sweetness that heals, not the kind that steals. You can still have that feeling of comfort, just in a new form. Imagine this: a cup of warm oat milk with a touch of cinnamon before bed. It relaxes your nervous system, helps you sleep better, and supports your digestion. Or a smoothie made with unsweetened soy milk, frozen berries, and chia seeds, a natural sweetness that balances your hormones and nourishes your cells instead of inflaming them. The change isn't about losing something, it's about gaining back your energy, your clarity, your lightness. Every time you choose a better option, your body notices. Your blood sugar steadies, your joints hurt less, your mornings feel clearer. You may even notice you sleep better, because your body isn't fighting inflammation all night. Think of condensed milk as that old friend who meant well but started to hold you back. It's okay to say goodbye, kindly, consciously, and invite new habits that actually support the person you've become. And here's the secret. Once you give your body a few weeks without that sugar bomb, your taste buds reset. You start to notice the gentle sweetness in things you never paid attention to before, the natural creaminess of almond milk, the subtle nutty flavor of oats, the delicate sweetness of real milk in its simplest form. So tomorrow morning, when you reach for that can of condensed milk, pause for just a moment. Ask yourself, is this sweetness worth the price of my energy? Then pour something that truly nourishes you instead, something that helps you stay strong, steady, and clear. Because at this stage of life, every small decision adds up to a big truth. You don't need more sugar. You need more strength, clarity, and calm, the kind that comes from choosing better, not sweeter. Next, whole milk powder. The hidden fatigue factor. There's something strangely comforting about the idea of milk powder. It feels safe, clean, long-lasting, dependable. Many seniors keep a can of it in the pantry, thinking, it's easier than fresh milk. It lasts longer. It must be good for me. But what if that white powder isn't as innocent as it looks? What if the thing you rely on for strength is the very reason your body feels heavier, slower, more tired every morning? Whole milk powder sounds wholesome, but the process that makes it shelf-stable also strips away what makes milk truly nourishing. To keep it from spoiling, fresh milk is heated to extremely high temperatures and dried until only the solid remains. That heat changes everything. Delicate enzymes that help you digest lactose, gone. Sensitive vitamins like B12 and folate, damaged. And the fats that survive, often oxidized, meaning they've turned rancid at a molecular level before they even reach your body. When you rehydrate it, it may look like milk again, but nutritionally, it's a ghost. You get calories, yes. But most of them come from saturated fats that quietly raise your LDL cholesterol and make your blood thicker, not stronger. For younger bodies, that might not be a big deal. But after 60, your metabolism slows, your arteries stiffen, and every bit of extra fat becomes harder to process. Instead of fueling your energy, whole milk powder often feeds the one thing you don't need more of, inflammation. Let's be real, many people switch to milk powder for convenience. It doesn't spoil. It's easy to store. It mixes fast. But convenience often comes with a cost. And that cost, for older adults, is fatigue disguised as fullness. Think about the last time you drank a cup of reconstituted milk powder. It probably felt heavy, not in taste, but in how it sat in your stomach. That heaviness is a sign that your digestive system is struggling. After 60, the body naturally produces less lactase, the enzyme that breaks down milk sugar. Without it, milk sits longer in your gut, causing bloating, discomfort, or even mild nausea. Your energy dips not because you didn't eat, but because your body is fighting to digest what you gave it. And here's the irony. People often drink whole milk powder for energy, yet it's one of the foods that quietly drains it. The combination of saturated fat, heat-damaged proteins, and lack of live enzymes forces your digestive system to work harder than it should. Over time, that constant internal effort can make you feel tired for no obvious reason. The deeper problem, though, isn't just digestion, it's absorption. Your body can only use nutrients that survive processing. When milk is turned into powder, calcium binds to casein proteins that become denatured by heat. That means the calcium becomes less bioavailable, less absorbable, just when your bones need it the most. So you think you're drinking for your bones, but what your body really gets is a flood of calories with little usable calcium to show for it. There's also another layer, oxidation. When milk fat is exposed to air and heat for long periods, it can form oxidized cholesterol, a compound linked to artery inflammation and plaque buildup. A 2021 study published in Nutrition Research Reviews noted that oxidized fats from processed dairy may increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, especially in older adults with slower metabolism. In other words, what was once preserved for convenience can become toxic with time. So what should you do instead? You don't have to abandon milk completely, just upgrade your choice. If you prefer something dairy-based, go for low-fat, lactose-free milk that's pasteurized but not powdered. Or try A2 milk, which contains a gentler protein that's easier to digest for most seniors. If you prefer non-dairy, unsweetened soy milk or almond milk fortified with calcium and vitamin D can give you all the benefits without the digestive stress. And if storage or convenience is your main concern, buy smaller containers of fresh milk or plant milk and freeze them in portions. It takes a little more planning, but your body will thank you for it, in energy, not in exhaustion. You might wonder, but I've been drinking milk powder for years, I feel fine. Maybe. But sometimes, fine, just means, I've adapted to feeling tired. Real vitality, the kind that makes you wake up sharp, move easily, and stay alert through the afternoon, only comes when your digestion isn't weighed down by processed fat and heat-damaged protein. Here's a small challenge. For the next 2 weeks, replace your milk powder with a fresh alternative, dairy or plant-based, whichever you prefer. Notice how your body feels. Most people report less bloating, steadier energy, and even better sleep. That's your body exhaling, literally thanking you for giving it real nourishment again. Because after 60, what you need isn't more calories. It's more life in the calories you consume. And whole milk powder, sadly, is food that's lost its life force long before it reaches your cup. So next time you reach for that can in your pantry, ask yourself, do I want something that simply fills me up, or something that truly fuels me? When you choose the latter, you're not just skipping milk powder. You're saying yes to energy, digestion, and clarity that last, the kind you actually deserve in this stage of life. Then, industrial soy milk, the false friend in a box. It sounds healthy, doesn't it? Soy milk. Plant-based. Lactose-free. Light. Gentle on digestion. The perfect choice for older adults who want to move away from dairy. That's what the box says, at least. But what's inside that neat little carton on the supermarket shelf? Not always what you think. Here's the hidden truth. Most commercial soy milk today is less soy and more sugar-flavored water. If you flip the box around, the ingredient list often starts with filtered water, followed by cane sugar, gums, stabilizers, natural flavor, and soybean solids at the bottom. That means you're paying for marketing, not nourishment. Many of these healthy soy drinks contain more sugar than protein, and the protein that's left is often stripped of its natural structure through high heat processing. So, instead of supporting your heart and hormones like soy was meant to, it ends up stressing your blood sugar and gut, the two systems that most need protection after 60. For decades, soy milk has carried a halo of health around it. And to be fair, real soy milk, made from whole beans, soaked, boiled, and filtered, truly can be healing. It provides isoflavones that help balance hormones, plant proteins that support lean muscle, and magnesium that soothes the nervous system. But the version you buy ready to drink from the store? That's a different creature altogether. Let's talk sugar first. Most boxed soy milks on grocery shelves have between 7 to 14 grams of added sugar per cup, and some vanilla or original flavors go beyond 18. That's almost 5 teaspoons of sugar in what's supposed to be a healthy milk. If you're diabetic or insulin resistant, that single glass can push your blood sugar higher than a slice of cake. And it's not just sugar. To create that smooth, creamy texture, manufacturers use emulsifiers, gums, and stabilizers like carrageenan or gellan gum. For sensitive digestion, especially among older adults, those compounds can irritate the gut lining, leading to bloating, gas, or irregular bowel movements. Ironically, people often switch to soy milk because dairy upsets their stomach, only to find themselves feeling just as uncomfortable a few weeks later. Then there's the issue of nutrient loss. Real soybeans are full of calcium, B vitamins, and phytonutrients, but most industrial versions are filtered, heated, and diluted until almost none of those remain. What you're left with is a watery imitation of something that used to be powerful. It fills the cup, but not the cells. Still, soy itself isn't the villain. It's the way we've turned it into a convenience product that's robbed it of its original goodness. Traditional soy milk, made at home or freshly brewed in Asian markets, has a nutty aroma, a little froth, and a real sense of substance. You can feel its warmth in your hands and its richness in your stomach. It feels alive. Industrial soy milk? Cold, flavorless, sterile. It looks like nutrition but acts like sugar water. Here's something most people don't realize. When soy milk is heavily sweetened and processed, it loses its natural isoflavone balance, the compounds that support hormonal health and protect against bone loss. Those fragile molecules are destroyed by high heat and long storage times. So while the label still says soy, your body barely recognizes it anymore. If you want soy milk to truly serve your body, you need to bring it back to its roots, literally. Here's how. Soak organic soybeans overnight. Blend them with clean water. Boil the mixture for about 15 minutes to remove anti-nutrients, then strain it through a fine cloth. Add a pinch of salt or cinnamon if you like warmth, but skip the sugar. You'll notice the flavor is more earthy, more real, and it fills you, not just your cup. And here's the beauty of making it yourself. You can fortify it naturally. Add a spoonful of sesame seeds for calcium, or a few peanuts for magnesium and flavor depth. These tiny additions turn your soy milk into a complete food, one that supports your bones, muscles, and mind. If you're not into homemade versions, that's fine too. Just look for unsweetened, fortified soy milk with calcium and vitamin D on the label. Make sure sugar isn't in the top 3 ingredients, and avoid flavored varieties. The closer it tastes to plain, the better it is for you. And one last important note. If you're on thyroid medication like levothyroxine, don't drink soy milk right after taking your pills. Soy can temporarily block absorption, making your medication less effective. Wait at least 4 hours, and you'll be perfectly fine. So the next time you stand in front of the milk aisle and see those shiny soy milk boxes lined up like soldiers, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this real nourishment or just branding in a carton? Because after 60, your body no longer falls for labels, it responds to truth. It knows the difference between synthetic and simple, between marketing and meaning. Let your milk reflect that truth. Choose something alive, not processed. Choose something that steadies your energy instead of spiking it. And when you sip that first cup of real soy milk, maybe homemade, maybe plain, maybe imperfect, you'll taste something you haven't tasted in a long time: peace. The kind of peace that comes when your body finally feels like it's being cared for, not just fed. Next, protein shakes and meal replacements. The convenience that costs you. They look modern, practical, even scientific. Shiny bottles that promise complete nutrition, energy for active seniors, and protein power for strong muscles. You see them stacked neatly at the grocery store, and maybe you think, this must be good for me, it's made for people my age. And at first, it seems to make sense. After all, protein is important, right? Muscles shrink with age, appetite drops, and time feels shorter. A shake you can drink on the go sounds like the perfect solution. But convenience often hides a quiet cost, and for older adults, that cost is heavier than it appears. Let's take a closer look. Most senior shakes, or meal replacement drinks, on the market are made to taste good first, nourish later. That means sugar, artificial flavors, vegetable oils, and synthetic vitamins, all engineered to mimic a balanced meal. Flip the label, and you'll often find more corn syrup solids and sucrose than actual protein. Sure, the label says 20 grams of protein, but that protein is usually isolated soy or whey stripped of its natural enzymes, heated, and reconstituted with gums and stabilizers. The result? A drink that might fill your stomach for a few hours but leaves your body quietly overworked, dehydrated, and inflamed. Here's something most people don't notice. The fatigue that comes after drinking one of these energy shakes isn't your imagination. It's your liver working overtime to process the sugar rush, emulsifiers, and synthetic nutrients it doesn't quite recognize. That's why you might feel full but tired, as if your energy just disappeared into the drink. A 2020 study in the Journal of Metabolic Health found that adults over 60 who consumed 2 or more processed meal replacements a day had higher fasting insulin and triglyceride levels than those eating real meals, even when calories were the same. In other words, these shakes look balanced on paper but confuse your body in real life. And let's not forget about what's missing. Real meals give you texture, the crunch of fiber, the resistance of chewing, the rhythm of eating. That physical act tells your brain, I've eaten, I'm satisfied. A shake bypasses that entire signal system. You drink it fast, it floods your stomach, your body registers volume, not satisfaction. So even though you're technically fed, your hunger hormones stay confused. That's why many seniors end up snacking again just an hour later, adding more sugar and calories to a day that was supposed to be controlled. But perhaps the biggest problem is psychological. When you rely on pre-mixed shakes, you slowly lose your connection to real food. Cooking becomes optional, chewing becomes rare, and food turns into maintenance instead of pleasure. And that, quietly, eats away at your joy, one drink at a time. Let's flip the story. Imagine instead, a morning smoothie made by your own hands. Unsweetened almond milk as the base. A scoop of real Greek yogurt or kefir for natural probiotics. A handful of oats for fiber and slow-release energy. Half a banana or a few berries for natural sweetness. A teaspoon of chia seeds for omega-3s and texture. Blend it all, thick, creamy, satisfying. That's not a shake. That's food, alive, balanced, kind. And the difference? Your body knows it. Instead of a sugar spike, your blood sugar rises gently and stays stable. Instead of inflammation, your gut feels calm. Instead of that strange, post-shake fatigue, you feel a steady kind of fullness, one that lasts through the morning. That's what real nourishment does. It works with your body, not against it. Now, there's another layer to this: additives. Many commercial shakes use cheap vegetable oils, often hydrogenated, to make the drink creamy. These oils promote chronic inflammation, which directly affects your joints and heart. Others include artificial sweeteners like sucralose or acesulfame potassium, chemicals that disrupt your gut microbiome, the foundation of your immunity and digestion. So the very product promising balance might actually be pushing your body further off balance. If you absolutely need something quick, because life happens, choose wisely. Look for unsweetened protein powders made from pea, hemp, or brown rice, without added sugars or oils. Blend them yourself with real ingredients. Or prepare a small container of overnight oats with soy or oat milk, nuts, and seeds. It'll give you the same convenience, minus the chemical baggage. And if your appetite is low or you struggle to eat enough solid food, that's okay too. You don't need to force 3 big meals a day. Just make each small meal count, dense in nutrients, light in sugar. A soft boiled egg with avocado. A small bowl of lentil soup. A cup of kefir with fruit. Real food doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be real. Here's a simple truth: convenience should never cost your vitality. The point of food, especially after 60, isn't just to fill you. It's to restore you. You deserve meals that energize, not ones that sedate you into afternoon naps. So next time you see that shiny meal replacement on the shelf, ask yourself, is it replacing my meal, or replacing my connection to real food? Because no powder, no pre-made drink, no artificial blend can ever replace what your hands can create in 5 minutes with a blender, some seeds, and real milk. In the end, it's not about convenience. It's about consciousness. You can't buy nourishment. You make it, one mindful choice at a time. Finally, rice milk. The sweet illusion of simplicity. It looks harmless, almost pure. White, light, gentle. You see rice milk on the shelf and think, ah, this one must be good for me. No lactose, no fat, easy to digest. And for many older adults, that's all the convincing they need. It's smooth, it's simple, and it sounds safe. But here's the quiet truth. Rice milk might be one of the sweetest traps disguised as simplicity. It's not toxic, not dangerous in the obvious sense, but it's deceptive in how it behaves inside your body. Rice milk has one of the highest glycemic indexes among all milk alternatives, often between 80 and 90. That means it acts almost like sugar water once it hits your bloodstream. Within minutes, your blood sugar spikes sharply, your insulin surges, and then, just as fast, it crashes. You feel lightheaded, tired, maybe a little shaky. So you grab a snack, maybe another drink, and the cycle begins again. When you were younger, your body could buffer that rise and fall. But after 60, insulin resistance often creeps in quietly. Your cells no longer respond to insulin the way they used to, meaning sugar lingers in your blood longer. Every spike pushes your pancreas to work harder, and every crash leaves you a little more drained. A 2022 report from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with diets high in high GI beverages like rice milk were 37% more likely to develop metabolic syndrome than those who consumed low GI alternatives. The reason? These rapid sugar swings damage blood vessels, stiffen arteries, and accelerate the very aging processes you're trying to slow down. And yet, rice milk remains popular, precisely because it feels light. It doesn't cause bloating. It doesn't upset the stomach. It seems like the body likes it. But what you're really feeling isn't comfort, it's absence. Rice milk lacks the protein, fats, and minerals your body needs to stay strong. So while it doesn't cause immediate discomfort, it gives you nothing to rebuild with. It's like filling your car with clear water instead of gasoline. It might look fine when you start the engine, but it won't take you very far. Most store-bought rice milks are even worse. They're often fortified with sweeteners and oils to make them creamy and palatable. Many brands use sunflower oil or canola oil, which oxidize easily under light and heat, generating free radicals, tiny chemical sparks that contribute to inflammation. And in some regions, rice milk has been found to contain traces of inorganic arsenic, absorbed from the soil where rice was grown. It's a tiny amount, not enough to alarm regulators, but enough to make daily consumption risky over time, especially for kidneys that are already slowing with age. The truth is, rice milk isn't bad in isolation. It's just incomplete. And when your body is in its 60s or 70s, incompleteness is the last thing you can afford. You need balance, protein to maintain muscle, calcium to preserve bone, and healthy fats to protect your brain. Rice milk gives you none of that. Just carbohydrates, fast, fleeting, and empty. If you truly love the taste or the lightness of rice milk, you don't have to give it up entirely. You just have to make it smarter. Here's a trick. Mix half a glass of rice milk with half a glass of unsweetened oat or almond milk. That simple blend lowers the glycemic load and adds back a little fat, calcium, and magnesium. Your blood sugar stays steadier, and you still get that smooth, familiar flavor. Better yet, if you make rice milk at home, add a handful of chia seeds or flax seeds while blending. They thicken the texture naturally, add omega-3s, and slow the release of sugar. You'll still get a creamy, light drink, but this time, it will actually nourish you instead of tricking your system. And remember this, your body doesn't crave sweetness, it craves stability. After 60, your cells beg for consistency, for gentle rises and calm rhythms. The less you shock them with sugar highs, the longer they'll keep working in harmony. So next time you reach for that carton of rice milk because it feels light, ask yourself, is it light because it's healthy, or light because it's empty? There's a difference. And your body can tell. When you start choosing drinks that carry nutrients instead of promises, your energy changes. Your mornings feel grounded, not jittery. Your thoughts become clearer. Your hunger calms. You stop chasing quick fixes because your body finally feels full, not stuffed, but satisfied. That's the kind of lightness worth keeping. Not the one that fades with sugar crashes, but the one that stays, the calm, strong lightness of real nourishment. So go ahead, simplify your choices. But don't confuse simplicity with emptiness. Real simplicity comes from truth, clean ingredients, steady energy, gentle digestion. That's what your body needs now. And if you ever doubted, just listen. It's been whispering to you all along, not asking for sweetness, but for balance. Because after 60, health isn't about what feels easy. It's about what keeps you alive, awake, and free. After 60, it's not about drinking more milk, it's about choosing the one that truly serves you. Skip the sugary, the heavy, the overly processed. Choose what's simple, clean, and kind to your body, because that's the kind of strength that lasts. If you change just one thing today, let it be your morning glass of milk. Small swap, big difference. If this video helped you see things differently, hit like, share, and subscribe to Health 247 for more natural ways to stay strong, sharp, and free. This content is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Please consult your doctor before making any dietary changes.